Hello, this is Caravan RV Travel Company. My name's Constantine, an off-road 4x4 motorhome based on the Ford Raptor from Grand Design. Ford Raptor and Grand Design, now that's a wild combination. I've never seen anything like this before. This motorhome is a 2026 model. Grand Design 31ZV. Actually, the design of this motorhome started from the front. Well, Grand Design is a company where true top-level experts work. Look, it doesn't look like other motorhomes, especially from the front, because as I already mentioned, the design started from the front. Just take a look at what it has. Well, Europeans would call this an alcove, the kind of front bedroom it has. It's not like the ones in other motorhomes. It's aggressive, huge, and big. And just wait until you see what it's like inside. You're going to be blown away. Grand Design works in partnership with Star Trek. Star Trek specializes in developing suspensions for sports cars. If you look over here, you'll see steering stabilizers and dual pistons. And you also have shock absorbers with remote reservoirs here, which can be set to 3 different modes. The first is a comfortable driving mode. The second is a mode for towing a trailer. And the third is a downhill mode. And for rough roads. Let's take a look at the exterior storage. As you know, in all American motorhomes, the storage is organized so that all your cargo is structured. For example, in European motorhomes, there's just one big garage here. They even brag about it and call it a garage. But in reality, it's just a pile of all sorts of junk. Because that's impossible to organize anything in there. Here, all around the perimeter of the motorhome, there are plenty of cabinets and compartments where you can neatly arrange your cargo. So let's say you went to the supermarket, came back with your cart, and start putting carrots here, onions there, apples over here, things that don't need to go in the fridge, maybe your winter boots that you'll use when it's cold, and another spot, and so on. In other words, storage here is organized intelligently. By the way, this drawer here is pass-through, so you can put something really wide in it, like skis, for example, or something else. Here's another cool feature of the motorhome. It's all about easy access here. There isn't a big cover for this huge gas tank. You fill it up using this little hatch instead. You just fill it up here and keep going. This is the gas inlet and this is the gas outlet. For example, you could set up a big grill here and connect it to this gas connector, and it's all done really smartly. You don't have to crawl in there somewhere, lie on your back, or search around and clean off the dirt. The biggest problem is when it's dirty and you can't connect the hose because of all that grime. And that's usually what happens when it's located down below. But here, it's hidden away so elegantly. Well, that's Grand Design for you. Nothing more to say. Now, the freshwater tank. The freshwater tank holds 300 liters. You can increase the freshwater capacity to a ton in this motorhome, which I recommend because in Russian conditions, you can never have too much water. Here's another hatch for storing things. This is where we fill the water, right into this tank. Alright, let's keep going. This is an on-demand water heater. They used to install storage water heaters with a huge tank like this, but now they use on-demand water heaters. You turn on the hot water, and it comes out instantly. That's also very convenient. Each compartment has a drainage hole. Say, for example, you spill some water, or, I don't know, your apples go bad in there. And if that rot starts to leak, you don't have to scoop it out with a rag, wring it out, and so on. You just use a hose with water, rinse everything off, and all the liquid, all the water goes down the drainage hole. By the way, they used to practically lay carpets here, right? But of course, later on, they realized that this is a storage compartment, not a floor you're supposed to walk on. Not only did they get rid of those carpets, but they also added a drainage hole, which is a very, very smart move. The walls. They're made from composite materials, specifically fiberglass. And the frame is made from aluminum pipes with a diameter of 1.5 inches. And at the top, the pipes are 3 inches in diameter. By the way, the roof is also made of fiberglass and has a rubberized coating. By the way, do you know what the rubberized coating is for? When it rains, so you don't hear the noise of the raindrops. The rubber actually dampens the sound of the rain. You can barely hear it at all. Moving on, this RV has a tow hitch. I'll tell you now what weighted trailer it can pull. You're gonna be blown away. 6 tons. Just imagine a 6-ton trailer. Mine is 290. It's 3.5 tons. But this RV can tow a 6-ton trailer. At every exhibition, I'm almost afraid to approach the Grand Design trailers and RVs because they come up with so many new things every year. It's just amazing what they invent. Look at how convenient this is. Just, of course, the electric hose is on a reel, and the reel spins at the push of a button. You don't even need to put on those gloves. And this hose, you pull it and everything here gets dirty. Yeah, the hose is lying on the ground, but you just press a button and it smoothly goes back in. Also, they've gotten rid of that square bumper. After all, this is Grand Design. Well, the bumper ruins the design, but if there's no square bumper, where do you put the corrugated hose you use to drain all the black and gray water? Well, here you go. A little hatch, and that's where the corrugated hose is stored. It's all simple and clear. This pipe runs the entire length of the RV. You can fit 2 hoses in here. Moving on. I was also amazed when I saw this wet area. Everything here is related to water. You know how sometimes there's one water inlet, then another, a third, a fourth, a fifth? But here, everything's in one place. There's an outdoor shower right here, a rinse system, and most importantly, it's not just a wet area, it's also a warm area. All the water's kept warm. And what's most interesting is that they hid the levers for dumping black and gray water right here in this wet area. Usually they're over here, somewhere around there. So when you're driving through snow, these things get covered, and then you have to use a heater to clear them off. But here, everything is inside. So this motorhome is just perfect. It's simply made for traveling in winter. Of course, when you look at it, it's a pleasure for the eyes. You just want to take it somewhere because everything is made for convenience. You don't even have to worry about anything freezing and then having to thaw it out with heaters or a hairdryer. The generator is located in that middle compartment. Do you know how much power it has? When we were traveling along the West Coast in the US back in 2021, our generators had a capacity of 3.5 kilowatts, and we were amazed at how great it was for us. We would turn on the air conditioner, and it was 40 degrees Celsius outside. Overall, we were really comfortable with that generator. And do you know how much power it has here? Over there, it was 3.5, but here it's 8 kilowatts. Can you imagine that? There it was 3,500, and here it's 8. I mean, I don't know. It could probably handle 4 powerful air conditioners. Honestly, I don't really get why you need so much power, but still, it's an 8 kilowatt generator. In a lot of RVs, all these fuses are located outside. So when you look at this, there are a ton of these levers, switches, and so on. But this is Grand Design. They can't allow themselves to have all these electrical devices arranged like that. That's why they hid them. Right here. Look. And notice how elegantly it's done. Here's a 320 amp hour battery. And this kind of control panel, it's neatly hidden away. Right here, a Grand Design door. Usually, the latch is always in one spot, like somewhere here, but they put it in 2 different places. You see that, right? Now, moving on, the mosquito net in regular RVs is located right here. So basically, the door closes together with the mosquito net, and you can open the door separately and the mosquito net separately. You can close it separately too. But the thing is, that setup isn't always convenient because the mosquito net can get stuck. Sometimes, but they did it differently. They made the mosquito net separate from the door, a sliding one, right here. And there are no gaps. Not a single mosquito can get through. Again, this is Grand Design. They're not like everyone else. Everything is well thought out. Next, the door is fixed in place using this thing, like this. Watch. Just like that, and that's it. And it's locked in place. But it's heavy on its own, so the wind can't make it slam shut or close with a loud noise. Still, they've provided this kind of latch here. This is a motorhome from Grand Design 4x4. It's truly one of the best motorhomes in the world, if not the very best. Well, it's Grand Design. Everything is thought out down to the smallest detail. Let's take a look. Here, look. This is a double bed up front, above the driver's seat. Well, I don't even know where to start. First of all, the lighting design. Look how cool it is done. And then, when you're lying there, you can see things like eagles flying over the Cross Pass in Georgia, or in Tabbert, the Northern Lights, or just the starry sky. And automatically, closing curtain. You see that, right? The style is black and white. There are also some really interesting features here. With the fact that it has adaptive cruise control, that's just a minor detail. It's like, I don't know, like having sausage on the table. But look, what do you think is inside this headrest? Let's take a look. No one would ever guess that it's a safe. And you can put money or documents or something else in here. Can you imagine how cleverly it's made? Look at the headrest, it's just empty space. The inside isn't used at all. But they went ahead and made a safe in here. Just try to guess that. Next, the air conditioner. The air conditioner here isn't like the ones in all other RVs. The thing is, all RVs have this kind of grill that turns black over time. It's not really great, to be honest. But here, look at the designer air conditioners they installed. And most importantly, they distributed the airflow. So the air conditioner, basically, it's not just this, but also this and this. Cold air blows out from here. It gets evenly distributed throughout the entire motorhome. And the duct system is so well thought out that the fan power here matches the fan power over here. So even if this reflector is farther away, it doesn't mean it blows weakly. Everything is distributed evenly. These air conditioners are very quiet. You can barely hear them. And look, there are even reflectors here. If we close it, with the curtain positioned right here, then these reflectors will effectively work specifically for this particular area. You know, honestly, everything is so well thought out. Everything is done just perfectly. Now, the media system. So look, these are the speakers, powerful speakers, and right here under the seat, unfortunately I can't open it, there's a subwoofer. But that's not all. The TV, these are theater seats, well, for watching a home theater. And what do you think this is? What is this right here? This is a Starlink modem. Elon Musk launched 140,000 satellites around the Earth, and now they're giving everyone completely free internet. This is a Starlink modem. Even if you go to Georgia or Europe, you'll be able to use the internet absolutely free. This window's unusual, and as they say, it costs twice as much as a regular one. This window doesn't let heat through, but it does let light in. This is precisely the advanced kind of glass technology that they currently utilize, and all of the numerous windows throughout the entire structure have these specific kinds of functional openers. These kinds of openers, you don't need this. This thing that you have to move up and down, it sometimes gets stuck, you have to oil it, and so on. Here, there are these elegant openers that locks in place like this, and there's also a mosquito net here. So you can have the net either like this, or from the top, or from the bottom. From the bottom. Protection from light. Well, let's say you need to darken the whole motorhome. You close it like this, but these American latches, well, the European ones that look similar, often break, but I really hope the American ones are sturdier. Look at how unique these handles are. You press it, it pops out, and then it opens. Look at how much storage space there is. Right here. The handles really are unique. Not just some regular latches like those. Boom. Yeah, elegant. You just press it like this, it pops out, then bam, you close it. A really big microwave oven. By the way, it's not just a microwave here, it's also an oven at the same time. And look at how beautiful it is. Amazing. Yeah, so it's both an oven and a microwave. Of course, there's also an oven, a gas burner, a cutting surface, and you can even make this cutting surface bigger. It'll snap into place. Now let's take a look at the bed. That's an original solution too. There's no regular door or cover here. Just this elegant little door. And here, a little curtain. Pretty cool, right? Here's some more cabinets for storing things. And a refrigerator. It's cold in there. It's 40 degrees Fahrenheit right now. That's about 7 degrees Celsius. That's the global standard for a regular fridge compartment. And this is the freezer compartment. Here it is! Wow, it's really frosty in there. So everything here is done in the black and white style. And by the way, this is the first time I've seen that. The default sofa, this surface you sleep on, it was purely American, so not economical at all. But this one is like what you find in expensive 5-star hotels. And it's really, really wide. By the way, this is a slider. Alright, next is the wardrobe. And this RV is equipped with a washing machine, and I wonder if there's a dryer here. It should be on top. Let's check. Yes, there's a dryer too. Here it is. This is the washer. By the way, Americans always use separate washing and drying machines. I bought a dryer for my own home too, and I'm happy with it, because separate machines always do a better job. A duck can't swim, walk, and fly well all at the same time. Just like a washing machine can't wash and dry equally well at the same time, it's better when they're separate. Americans always use separate washing and drying machines. Even the handle is designer. Grand Design is the company. This is the entrance to the bathroom. Look, it's kind of square-shaped. Let's open it. And the light turned on below. A switch. Just look at how elegantly everything is done here, how well thought out it is. It's just like on some very expensive Italian yachts. That's how everything is here. Everything is done so well. Everything is square, really square, black and white. So, Dometic, oh my god, I got scared for a second, thought, God forbid, it's a cassette toilet. Of course, it's a bio-toilet tank. By the way, it's 170 liters. And a huge shower with a designer shower head. Its official price on the website is $332,000. And now, it's being sold for $249,000.
Our company invites you on an incredibly interesting journey across the USA in motorhomes. You won't just see what others have seen like in a travel cloud. You'll see for yourself what you'll experience next year. Caravanning is above all a tool for visiting interesting places. The Library of Congress of the USA, and got to know not only New York, Niagara Falls, Washington, Atlanta, the birthplace of Disneyland in Orlando, the Kennedy Space Center, relaxed in Miami, and we managed to do all this relatively easily in 3 weeks, which is practically impossible if you use hotels and a regular car. But we also got acquainted with the world's most advanced technologies in the field of motorhomes and travel trailers. This is the Type 3 motorhome offered for rent, or you can travel here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. For this trip is on the website. Guys, we're in a state of suspended animation. Right here, this is one of the best beach spots in the world. Right now, they're parking us. Look, each and every spot has this kind of view. These motorhomes are true masterpieces. Every motorhome, every trailer is a work of art. We're caravanning. Here are all our motorhomes. Well, 2 are missing. 2 are out driving somewhere. If you take a picture of each trailer, you get a real still life that you could hang on the wall. And let me warn you right away, if you're not joining us on our tour of the East Coast of the USA, that is, if you're not coming with us and there are children nearby, please have them leave the room and absolutely do not let them watch this segment. Otherwise, you'll start having problems like, Dad, I want to go to Orlando. We will be staying at the Creek Fire Campground. It's approximately 20 minutes from downtown Savannah. Most of us are still in shock from what we've seen.